Part 2. The scheme started cracking when investor payments slowed down. When you're running a system like this, you need a constant flood of new money. The moment that flow slows, whether because the market changes, investors get nervous, or regulators start sniffing around, the whole structure starts groaning under its own weight. Complaints began reaching the SEC. Then the DOJ got involved. Financial forensics teams started pulling records, cross-referencing machine serial numbers with physical location audits, tracing wire transfers, and what they found was a paper empire. Hundreds of millions of dollars cycled through accounts, not to purchase and operate ATMs, but to sustain the illusion, to pay early investors, to fund Brown's operations, lifestyle, and business overhead, to keep the pitch alive long enough to find the next check. And the cruelest part? Many investors had no idea. They were getting their quarterly deposits. They saw their portfolio on a dashboard. Everything looked fine because the whole point of a well-run Ponzi scheme is that it looks fine right up until the moment it doesn't. In September 2025, Carey Brown was arrested and hit with federal charges including wire fraud and securities fraud. The potential sentence, decades. But here's the question that should haunt every investor, and honestly, every one of us watching this. How do you protect yourself from something that was designed to look exactly like the real thing? There are three patterns in this story that show up in almost every major fraud case I've covered on this channel. 1. The almost legitimate wrapper. ATM investments are real. That's what made this work. The best frauds don't invent something from scratch. They mirror something credible and then hollow it out. Always verify the underlying asset independently. Not through the company, not through their dashboard. Independently. 2. Passive income as a blind spot. People hear passive and their critical thinking drops. The less effort something requires from you, the more diligence it requires before you commit. That's not cynicism, that's math. 3. The return that never fluctuates. Real investments have good quarters and bad quarters. If your ATM income is eerily consistent, regardless of economic conditions or location performance, that consistency itself is the warning sign. Ponzi operators smooth the returns artificially because volatility creates questions. 2,700 people, $770 million, one man with a suit and a spreadsheet. And September 2025 is when the curtain finally came down. Here's what I want you to take from this. The ATMs were almost real. The company was almost legitimate. The returns were almost too good. And that word almost is where fortunes disappear. If this story hit different, hit that like button. It genuinely helps this channel more than you'd think. And if you want to go deeper, I've got a full breakdown of the top 5 warning signs of a Ponzi scheme linked right here. Every single one of them shows up in this case. I'll see you in the next one.